This is Shadowstorm64, and today we're going to be doing a review on Dragon Ball Super, one of the most overrated, overhyped, pathetic excuses for anime I have ever seen in my life, and it is a complete and utter disgrace to the Dragon Ball franchise. Let me start off from the very beginning, and let me cut straight to the point, no bullshit. Dragon Ball Super sucks. Dragon Ball Super sucks, and I'm not going to waste any time with this bullshit. First off, let's talk about the very first arc, which I shall call the Battle of Gods arc, since that's basically what it is. No lie. Ultimately, the entire arc was unnecessary and complete garbage. It was a rehash of the movie that I'm pretty sure 90% of Dragon Ball fans already saw. It was a cheap copy, and it was basically the same plot with just shittier animation. That was basically the first arc of Super. The same thing, but shittier looking. And it's not that animation even matters in the grand scheme of things, but of course that's what people like these days, right? But a lot of people make the argument that the anime did the story better than the movie. But when they say that, we all know that they're only talking about that one extra scene that the Super anime had, where Goku and Beerus almost destroyed the universe, which I will get into later, because that is dumb as fuck. However, I disagree. The movie managed to tell the exact same amount of story as the anime, and that is the problem. The Battle of Gods movie was 2 hours, roughly. The Battle of Gods arc in the anime was 14 episodes. Do the math. Each episode is around 20 minutes, and so that means that the anime was basically stretched out the Battle of Gods arc to be 4 hours, which is double the amount of time as the movie. They had twice the amount of time as the movie to expand the story. They could have done so much more with the movie. They could have gave more backstory on Beerus, Whis, the original Super Saiyan God. You could have developed them more as characters. You could have gave more history, have done more world building. However, all the anime did, different from the movie, was have some pseudo filler episodes that did nothing for the plot. Have the fight take place on a big ass boat instead of the ground for some reason. Like, that change was important. Have the Peel-Off gang, who were relevant since Dragon Ball, come back and do the little shenanigans, which wasn't even funny. At this point, they were basically like Team Rocket, except people stopped giving a fuck about them 2 decades ago. The movie did all of this in less time. You could literally skip this arc and the next one and watch the 2 movies instead, and you would miss no important information, and that's the problem. You would miss nothing that would lessen your understanding of the plot, and that is the problem. The anime failed to fix any of the problems the movie had. It simply inherited them like a disease. Goku gets yet another recolor transformation, thus increasing the power gap between him and all the main characters other than Vegeta even further. It's basically the Goku and Vegeta show at this point. If you're not a Saiyan, if you're not Goku and Vegeta, you're gonna get no good fight scenes, no transformations, no good character moments. You're just gonna stay in the background and be cheerleaders for Goku and Vegeta. It's sad, really. Beerus, he had potential as a character, but he falls flat after this arc and only serves to bail Goku out of everything, along with his OP buddy Whis. Goku and Beerus almost destroying the universe was stupid, because that level of power never comes up again, and thus creates more fake tension, which will be the central theme of this video. The characters never face any consequences for their own powers or actions, And plus, fantards only like that scene because now they can finally prove to their friend Steve that Goku is the strongest anime character of all time and can whoop everyone from Naruto, DC, Image, and Capcom all at the same time with his eyes closed. Wrong. Anyways, let's move on from this pile of garbage and let's go to an even bigger pile of garbage. The next arc, the Resurrection of Frieza Arc. It was also a rehash of a movie just like its predecessor. And it had the same problems. Another new hair color, more power creep, and guess what? Frieza comes back for the 3 billionth time. However, all people could complain about was how weak Gohan was. Of course, they don't complain about all the human characters who are even weaker. Or Piccolo, who is almost just as developed as Gohan, but he's even weaker than that. But no one complains about him not being as strong as Goku and Vegeta, or him not getting a new form, because guess what? He's not a Saiyan, so no one cares. But anyways, it also, like, Goku and Vegeta, like I said before, are the only Z fighters who matter at this point by the writer's logic. Piccolo dies, but just like in Dragon Ball Z, it carries no weight, because we know he will get wished back in the next few episodes. Fake tension and no stakes, once again. Horrible shit writing with shit narrative. Me, as an aspiring writer myself, this is disgusting, and only brain dead basement dwellers will get sad over death in this anime. It's so paradoxal. I don't even know that's a word. It's mind-boggling. I'm making up words because my brain is being fucked with. Okay? But you see, now I'm gonna get into the biggest problem of the Resurrection of Frieza arc. The gods, aka Beerus and Whis. Having the gods around takes away all tension, all sort of suspense in this series, because they literally do everything. The plots now drive around them. They can basically solve anything for Goku. They are the ultimate plot device since the Dragon Balls themselves. The Dragon Balls used to be the biggest plot device, but now the gods are literally bailing the characters out of everything. Let me explain. You see, even in most stories with heroes and villains, and good and evil, protagonists and antagonists, we all know that heroes always win in the end. Only few stories deviate from that. But even though we are all aware of this, it's still important to create suspense, a sense of doubt that the heroes might not win. But Frieza's presence is completely destroyed when Beerus is around. Think of it like this. Imagine you are a robber, and when you're about to take money from some weakling, Jesus descends from the heavens and lands right next to you. Would you still rob the person in front of you? No, you run to the hills because you know you are fucked either way. God characters shouldn't be interacting with the main plot. Marvel and DC handle this concept well. God characters like the Living Tribunal or the Presence only appear when they are literally forced to intervene. When Green Goblin comes to rob a bank, you don't see the one above all come down to help Spidey kill him in an instant with a snap of his fingers. No. It's impossible to look at Golden Frieza as a threat when Beerus is standing right there and could kill Frieza anytime. Frieza literally shits himself when he sees Beerus. Even though Beerus states he won't intervene, he ends up doing that later anyway. And do you honestly believe he would let Frieza destroy the planet when he loves the food so much? Especially since in the next arc, he is literally afraid of losing Universe 7's Earth to his brother? Really? And then later in the movie, Frieza blows up the planet. And later, well, in the anime, but in the movie, well, the movie is basically the anime, but who cares? Later in the anime, Frieza blows up the planet. along with the Dragon Balls. Finally, Goku pays for, not defeating his enemy quickly. He literally let Vegeta tag in like it was a game of tag instead of killing the weakened Frieza once he was healed with the Senzu beans. Vegeta dies in space, which either means two things: Vegeta can't survive a planet exploding, or he can't survive the vacuum of space. It's obviously the latter, thus a message to all those overthinking power scalers out there. Any character can beat Goku if they blow up the planet. The end. Back to my point, Goku is finally suffering the consequences to his reckless actions, and instead of having a redemption arc to fix his mistakes on his own, the gods intervene once more. Whis uses his plot powers to rewind time, allowing Goku to do what he should have done from the beginning and full power Kamehameha Frieza to death. Frieza was handled horribly in this arc, and quoting Team 4-Star, he died like a bitch. Now we have the stupid Universe 6 vs 7 arc. And when the Universe 16 was revealed, I knew just by looking at them, they all were going to be weak and disappointing except for maybe the Frieza clone and Hit. The rest were going to be unfunny jokes as characters. They were basically Winnie the Pooh if he stopped eating honey and started eating 100 orders of Big Grand Max at McDonald's. Iron Giant, fucking Tarbell, Frieza clone, and Dickhead. By the way, the two new characters, Champa and Vados, are basically pointless to talk about because they're basically fat Beerus and Whis with boobs. All the pretentious overthinking YouTubers were making videos and theories about how Kaba was gonna have Super Saiyan Blue and how the Universe 16 was gonna be God level, but I knew they were all gonna be weak, and I was right. They all were eliminated with ease except for Hit. They tried to drag out the time of the tournament by having Goku and Frieza hold back to conserve energy by not having them use their God forms early on. However, Vegeta transforms to blue and knocks out Kaba in one punch. That obviously didn't take much energy. He could have just one-punched everyone except Hit, and it would have been all of Universe 7 versus Hit. And then they could have just tired him out and they could have won. The end. But of course, shitty writing. But again, this anime has fake tension. The whole stakes in this arc is that if Universe 6 wins, they switch Earths, which wouldn't be anything serious at all. Actually, that would be a rather good thing somewhat, and maybe a little bit more interesting, because they would be put in a new universe with new characters and maybe new villains and, such and such. But the only thing it will mostly do is put Goku and Vegeta in a universe with more Saiyans, which could have had potential, but it never happened. We could have seen Vegeta interact with a race that, he could have ruled if Frieza couldn't destroy it. And of course, you know how the fans have a hard-on for Saiyans, but of course, they can't even do fan service right. But nor is the idea even good because the idea sucks and the anime sucks. But anyway, back to the point, Goku gets a new form, he stacks Kaioken on Super Saiyan Blue, and long story short, Universe 7 wins and things return to the status quo with nothing really changing other than hair colors. Shit writing right there. And now we have the notorious Goku Black Arc. Yes, I have been waiting for this. Let me start with this. Time travel stories usually are more prone to plot holes. Just look at Sonic 06 for example. But some at least are able to get it right to a certain extent. But not Dragon Ball Super. The main villain is Goku Black, who's just a ripoff of Zycor from Dragon Ball AF. And if you don't know what that is, Google it. Who is just another cheap, dark version of the main character trope. I have made a video on my second channel, Shadow's Realm, on why Goku Black had, keyword had, potential. However, it is outdated with my current thoughts. And you may want to watch it to find out why I once thought he had potential, but it's whatever. Goku Black was part of the dumbest plot twist ever. An angsty Team Kai, Zamasu, basically switched bodies with another Goku from another timeline to become him, and then he teams up with himself from another timeline, which is dumb. Zamasu, unlike most Dragon Ball villains, actually has a real backstory that isn't unknown or the easy he was born pure evil. However, soon he falls flat because he soon becomes generic. He gathers the Super Dragon Balls and doesn't wish for all mortals to be killed. Instead, he tries to do it by hand instead, which is stupid. Now, I understand that if he did make that wish, there would not be an anime, but at least give a logical reason why he couldn't simply wish for all mortals to be destroyed. The Super Dragon Balls can do anything, right? For anyone trying to create or write a story out there, refrain from writing yourself into a corner like this. Don't ever write anything as powerful as the Super Dragon Balls without any sort of limitations. It will make you look stupid. Anyways, Future Trunks comes back and his hair is blue now for some reason, and he comes back with Mai, who is an irrelevant character who doesn't do shit. The major battles take place in the already fucked up future, thus creating big tension. Why would we care about the world being destroyed in a future that we barely see that is already fucked up? Anyways, Beerus intervenes again and kills Zamasu with a word. Vegeta Blue happens because fan service and Dragon Ball Superstars will eat anything up like it's candy. Throw in some Shida animation and some pretty colors animation and people will call it a perfect masterpiece. False. Trunks gets a bullshit power up and kills Zamasu. But it turns out he isn't fully dead and Goku literally presses a button to calm down Zeno, aka God, to kill Zamasu for him. Along with all the innocent people still alive and in the afterlife, they're dead too and no one cares. The end. That was an anticlimactic and horrendous ending. More fake tension, no stakes, and false hype. Now we have the final and most horrible arc, the Tournament of Bullshit, which is a tournament caused by Goku in which every universe is put in a battle royale where losers get erased and the winner gets a wish on the super plot device balls. And for all those people saying, oh, Goku saved the other universes because Zeno was gonna delete everything and everyone, but Goku reminded Zeno of the tournament which gave everybody a fighting chance. But none of that was intentional. That's like if you were to fall off a building and I just so happened to inflate a big ass bounce house next to the building for me to play in and you just so happen to fall in and live. Goku isn't a hero, he says it himself. Most of the people in the tournament are cannon fodder. Frieza comes back again, probably so he can die again when Super returns after he becomes Platinum Frieza or some bullshit. Kale is a ripoff of Brawly and more fan service, and her and Caulifla break the little bit of inconsistency this anime has a power scaling wise. In a matter of hours and minutes, they go from not being able to turn Super Saiyan at all, from using a little tingly feeling in their back to turn Super Saiyan 2, mastering Legendary Super Saiyan, or should I say Super Saiyan Berserk, stupid name by the way, just like all the other names in this anime. And then they go to Fuse, and then they almost match Ultra Instinct level power. That is something that Goku took years to reach, and these characters do it in 2 seconds, for no reason. Why they couldn't just have made Kale and Caulifla start out as super strong characters? I don't know, but instead they decided to take the stupid route and have them start out as weak and get strong in a matter of episodes. So sad. Great writing, Toriyama. You barely give a fuck about the series anymore to write more than an outline. Never mind. And now let's get to the main dish, the main event. Jiren the Grey. He is the most boring piece of shit character I have ever seen in this anime or any other. And you know, I'm gonna go off topic for a moment, but this needs to be said. I'm going to say it. Jiren is what Dragon Ball fans who never read comics in their life think Superman is. A boring, OP fuck in tights who preaches justice and is inconsistent and broken as fuck. Believe it or not, Superman stopped being OP decades ago. His days of sneezing solar systems away and shit is crap that happened in the 1940s to 80s. And believe it or not, he's actually an interesting character. He's only hated because Dragon Ball fans are mad that Screw Attack got their facts wrong and overhyped Superman and said that he was limitless and that he could beat Goku, even though if you actually read the comics instead of listening to some dumbasses online, you could find out the truth for yourself. But you know, I'm not going to dive into that. That's a video for another time. But anyways, Jiren sucks. Alright, he's a shittier Sasuke Uchiha from Naruto. You might as well call this anime Dragon Ball Shippuden. The writers are trying so hard. They were trying so hard to make Jiren mysterious that they ended the series without telling us what he wanted to wish for on the Super Dragon Balls. A major plot point they were teasing for several episodes, and they just dropped it because they were trying to write like a 4-year-old child. Jiren is the embodiment of what is wrong with super power, too much power, and overhype fake tension. The show has devolved into fan service. How much new power-ups can Goku get in a season, and how much more fan theories can hype up this damn show until it breaks? Ultra Instinct was stupid. It was a technique that allowed one's body to move without thought, so why the hell was it a power-up? Why did Goku's hair change? Why did he get stronger from it? Because Goku has to get stronger no matter what. That is why. Also, the concept of mastered Ultra Instinct is stupid. The form ends up backfiring on Goku even though it's so-called mastered. That's like me being a master swordsman, but I cut off my own head swinging my sword around. And people like to call characters from other series OP and broken, but when Goku gets a form that allows him to auto-dodge everything and anything with the greatest of ease, it's A-okay? Sure. I'm not even going to talk about the other plot holes that happen because there are too many and too much. Anyway, it ends with Android 17 winning. And the fantards call him the MVP, like mind the sheep. When 17 sacrificed himself, although he wasn't a relevant character to begin with, since he disappeared off the show since the Cell arc and made a 2-second cameo in the Buu saga, it was still the first real consequence of the tournament. Someone died. And the Super Dragon Ball wish would be wasted on bringing back all the other universes so 17 would stay dead. At least for a little while at least. But it turns out he's the worst suicide bomber ever and he lives. The death scenes now carries no weight. And again it is, wait for it. You guys can try to guess it now and say it with me. It's in the title. Fake tension. 17 sucks. The end. The best episode of this anime was the last episode because this was a pile of shit. It was a disgrace. Even Dragon Ball GT was better despite its flaws. I won't lie. I did genuinely like Super, but it was my nostalgia that blinded me. I could not, however, in good conscience, say that this anime is good, in truth. There were some good moments, like Vegeta showing how much he cares for his family, unlike the main character Goku. And some bad moments like 17 reaching blue level by watching animals on an island for 7 years. And Whis and the gods solving everything for Goku. Like when Whis rewinded time for Goku to kill Frieza, or when Beerus killed Zamasu for Goku, or when Zeno killed Zamasu for Goku again, or when Whis delivered Bulma's child in an instant, or when Whis resurrected Frieza so Goku didn't have to. Great writing, by the way. What pisses me off are the bandwagon fans who only liked this anime because it was the cool thing to watch, and the hype. Hype does not equal good. Dragon Ball Super is shit. Out of 10, Dragon Ball Super is a measly 5 out of 10. And I'm oh so generous to give it a 5, even, because that's me having mercy. That's basically it for this. If you would like me to do any reviews on any more anime, please tell me in the comments below. And this anime is complete and other garbage, but this is Shadow Storm 64, and I will see you next video.